minute in their first meeting, 28-24, but now it's Detroit with an 8-point lead. Despite 405 yards in the air from Kirk Cousins, a franchise record, 213 receiving yards for Justin Jefferson. Jared Goff with 3 touchdown passes. Big day for DJ Chark. This will be a 49-yard attempt. Badgley from the left hash. And his kick is good. So that will put an exclamation point on this one as the Lions extend to an 11-point lead over the Vikings.
Nice snap, nice hold. Right down the middle. Special teams player of the week. Essentially seals the game. And there's Aidan Hutchinson. Oh, he loves it. He had himself a great game, and Dan Campbell knows exactly how much that field goal meant. And Green Bay, he said that was our game. That's what got us over the hump. Now that they're over the hump, winning against a 10-2 team, what is that going to do for the confidence of the team, the players, the coaches? You know they feel like they can go out and beat anybody, and I'm with them, right? There's no reason why they should be afraid of any opponent that they're about to go up against.
There's Penei Sewell, made a huge catch to keep that drive alive. We've witnessed 860 yards of offense today. The teams have combined to score on the last 7 possessions. Only 1 punt in the second half, 5 in the game.
Yeah, that would make me throw up if I was still playing.
Says former linebacker Jonathan Vilma. There's Jameson Williams, first career reception and touchdown. That gave the Lions a 7-0 lead. How about that move by Dalvin Cook into the end zone to tie the score? There's DJ Chark, 14-7 Lions at the half. Third touchdown pass for Goff, connected with Reynolds. Adam Thielen, Vikings pull to within 8. There's Justin Jackson diving into the pylon. KJ Osborne. And then Penei Sewell with the biggest offensive play of the day for Detroit. As Cousins fires downfield, deflected and nearly picked off. He was looking for Jalen Reagor.
Sean Elliott, C.J. Moore go up, Jalen Reagor. C.J. Moore owes Deshaun Elliott some dinner or something. He had a clear interception, and C.J. Moore is the one that knocks it out of his hands.
Lions have scored at least 30, Jonathan, for the 7th time this season. That matches a franchise record. State Farm Game Break coming up next. Thanks to our producer, Fran Morris, and director, Brian Lilly. Associate Director Caden Pfeiffer, Broadcast Associates Cody Novak and Jack Sicano, Technical Director Jared Lagrani, our technical producer Sid Drexler, K-Mac and Audio Kevin McCluskey. Passes caught, Stanford band nowhere in sight. Hawkinson lost the football, the ex-Lion, and that will put an end to it. The Lions win for the 5th time in the last 6 games. Vikings will have another opportunity to clinch the division on Saturday. State Farm Game Break coming up for Jonathan Vilma, Shannon Spake, I'm Kenny Albert. Lions by 11.
Welcome to the State Farm Game Break Show.
All right, before we get to America's Game of the Week, where Tom Brady and the Bucs, who have won 3 of their last 4, will take on Brock Purdy, making his first NFL start, trying to lead San Francisco to its 6th straight win. A large part of their victories of late has been the play of Nick Bosa and that defense. He leads the league in sacks, maybe the defensive player of the year. He'll go against Brady and the Bucs today. Most of you will see that game. Some of you will also get Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks trying to stay in the playoff picture as they take on the Carolina Panthers. But first, welcome to State Farm post-game show. Let's go through the highlights. And one team has already clinched the spot in the playoffs, the first to do it, Philadelphia.
Jalen Hurts, great quarterback for the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, third quarter, set up, quarterback draw. There it is. Make it look like a pass. Everybody blocks, split them up. There he goes. Eagles clinch a playoff berth with a 48-22 victory over Philadelphia over the New York Giants.
Jalen Hurts 3 total touchdowns today. Moments ago, he spoke with Pam Oliver.
All right, Jalen, still stacking up all those wins and stacking up a lot of points. Just offensively, maybe a silly question, but is there another gear you guys can rate?
We just want to continue to chase progress. We want to continue to learn from our mistakes, learn from our successes, and just continue to grow. That's what it's about. Just progress, constant progress.
One of your successes is Miles Sanders, who had a killer day, got over 1,000 yards for the first time in his career. Tell me about him as one of your weapons.
I mean, he's a big-time asset to this football team. You know, he showed up big time this year. He worked really hard all off-season, and for him to have the opportunities he's having now, he's taking advantage of them, so I'm proud of him.
And finally, the other day we talked to you about handling success and the message that you send to your teammates. You talked about the grind and the process. So how do you get those messages across to them?
Yeah, man, you just never want to ride waves. You know, you don't want to ride waves. You never want to get too high, get too low. You just want to keep the main thing, and just keep going. Nothing else really matters but, you know, chasing that growth every day. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do it, try to stay focused. You know, we know what we believe in, and we just want to continue to do that. You know what I'm saying? I think you sit here and you watch these games, and you wonder so many different things, but the reality is we're never satisfied. So I think there's more out there for us to do.
Appreciate it, Jalen. Thank you. Back to you.
Well, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles now 12-1. They're averaging 41 points a game the last 3 weeks, and the defense is playing well. Jimmy, is it time for us to stop asking the question whether or not they're the best team?
Well, Kurt, I think Howie talked about it on the pregame show. You know, the thing they have is consistency. You know, they can run the football. They got great receivers. Miles Sanders had a big day today, rushing for 144 yards. They protect the passer extremely well. And the thing that impresses me is their defense. They had 7 sacks today. 7 sacks that, you know, they can play the run. You know, you got in a position there in this ball game to where the team was running on them a little bit, but they were rushing the passer because they had the big lead. They're just a very consistent football team in all areas. And they've got as good a pass defense as there is in the league. And so you see, if they get into a situation where they're not scoring a lot of points, their defense can take over.
And you know, at some point you have to start just believing what you see. And what you see is a consistently really good football team that can beat you in a number of ways. They can cover you. They can, you know, stop the run. They bring in Joseph. They bring in Sue. Davis comes back. That was a perceived weakness. Can they run the ball? Can he throw the ball? Well, he's answered that question. How many more questions do you need to answer? I mean, really, the final question is, how do you play? And what makes our game unique is that we're a single game elimination.
Everybody keeps saying, well, they're better than 49ers. That's and Dallas. That's really the question.
Well, they look more consistent than all those teams, certainly, especially the Dallas Cowboys, who struggled against Houston today.
All right, Jeff Driscoll out of Louisiana Tech, scrambling to the right, actually rolling to the right, throws this ball up to Amari Rodgers. Beautiful effort by Rodgers and Driscoll. He makes the reception at the high point, 17-14 Houston, but under a minute left in the game, 3rd and goal, and Ezekiel Elliott takes it in from 2 yards out. And Dallas, what appeared to be a loss, finally gets a long drive to win this game, 27-23.
The Detroit Lions favored over the 10-2 Minnesota Vikings, and they proved they should be. Jared Goff, the DJ Chark, 48 yards. They roll over the Vikings. 34-23. Hey, Lions are right back in the playoff picture, which we'll talk about more in a moment.
Josh Allen's quarterback. For the Buffalo Bills, bad weather up in Buffalo. Fake the draw underneath, fake the reverse, then keeps it himself in from 5 yards out. 20-12 in a tough football game. Buffalo avoids the sweep by the Jets by beating the Jets 20-12 in Buffalo. All right, the Browns are at the Bengals. Flea flicker Joe Burrow then takes this ball wide open down the center of the football field. Trenton Irwin for a 45-yard touchdown. In a close game, though, 23-10, Cincinnati beats Cleveland. Steelers, Kenny Pickett, quarterback for the Steelers, goes into concussion protocol after that hit right there. And then Huntley left the game with a concussion. Then the Ravens go on to win this football game, though, after Dobbins scores a touchdown. Baltimore 16, Pittsburgh Steelers 14. And coming from behind, Trevor Lawrence does it again. Big football game for Lawrence. Lawrence finding Evan Ingram, a huge day, 21-yard touchdown. His second touchdown on the day, Ingram that is. 36-22 Jacksonville on top of Tennessee.
So here's your up to the second playoff picture. Is not much has changed in the AFC, but whoa, things have looked a little bit different in the NFC right now. With the results of the early games, the Commanders now replace the Giants, and Seattle moves into that 6th spot. But look at the Lions. They're just one game out of a playoff spot after thumping Minnesota. And Michael, you take a look at Detroit. You know, they own the tiebreaker against both Washington and the Giants, so they're not too bad.
Yeah, right now. I mean, you look at Detroit, and they're kind of like that sleeper. I think we got so used to Detroit struggling over the last few years, and they've always been in close games over the last few years. And at the end, they would never win in those games. Well, now they're winning those games, and not only that, they're running away with games. There was a point earlier in the season where they had the #1 offense in the league as far as scoring points, but defensively, they really struggled at stopping anybody. But now the defense has caught up to their offense. Jared Goff looks like the guy that everybody thought was going to be with the Rams for his entire career. And right now, Detroit is about as hot of a team as anybody. If I'm out there, that's one team I don't want to play.
Well, right now, everybody's going to get a chance to see this guy, Tom Brady, and the Buccaneers visiting the San Francisco 49ers. He's pumped up, so are we. This should be a heck of a game. It's America's game of the week. And the kickoff comes your way from Santa Clara, California, right after this.